The January 6th House committee investigating the Trump riots isn't going to last much longer. And the reason is that the House is being taken over by Republicans in January because Republicans won the 2022 midterms in the House. See how I say that without any qualifications? See how I just say Democrats won the Senate, but Republicans won the House? I don't have to rant and rave and say because of rigging or because of fraud or because of seasoned ballots or smoked ballots or sauteed or sous vide'd ballots. Just Republicans won the House and Democrats won the Senate. See how easy it is for me to say that? Okay, because that's what happened in November. And really anyway, because Congress is ending and any investigative committees would have to be reconstituted in the next Congress, the January 6th committee of the House is going to end. But it is not yet over. They told us some months ago that they would come back with a couple of final hearings sometime before the end of the year. I don't know if that's still going to take place. But yesterday, there was a very important bit of news that was announced. The House January 6th committee has decided to make criminal referrals. Let me remind you, so we're all on the same page. One of the guidelines of House committees, remember, the House of Representatives has investigative duties and responsibilities and abilities. They do not have primary criminal referral responsibility, meaning the House is not supposed to take on an investigation primarily or solely to determine whether criminal activity took place. However, it is well within the purview of the House of Representatives' investigative duties to make criminal referrals if in investigating whatever they are investigating, they come across what they believe to be, based on the advice of the lawyers that work with them, criminal activity. That is exactly what the House committee says it found. CNN reports the House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol has decided to make criminal referrals to the Department of Justice, according to Congressman Benny Thompson. Thompson's a Mississippi Democrat and said the committee has not yet narrowed down the universe of individuals who may be referred. Of course, that's code for we've not yet ruled out a criminal referral against the failed former President Donald Trump. Asked whether Thompson believed any of the witnesses perjured themselves, he said, quote, "That's part of the discussion." When the panel makes referrals, Thompson said it will be a separate document from the panel's final report that will be sent to the DOJ. A select committee spokesperson confirmed to CNN that criminal referrals will be considered as a final part of the panel's work. The spokesperson said, quote, "The committee has determined that referrals to outside entities should be considered as a final part of its work. The committee will make decisions about specifics in the days ahead." A source tells CNN the criminal referrals the January 6th committee will ultimately be making, quote, "will be focused on the main organizers and leaders of the attack." So one of the major, obvious, pressing questions is Trump seen in this particular context by this committee, based on the work they've done, as one of the main leaders and organizers of the attack? And if so, is there going to be a criminal referral directly to Donald Trump? Now, it's important to remind people, I have no interest in aggrandizing or minimizing what may or may not take place here. The question, of course, if the DOJ receives a criminal referral from the House of Representatives for Trump, is whether they actually decide to charge him. There's no guarantee just because a criminal referral is made that Trump is actually going to be charged. Perjury also, if indeed it took place by those who did testify. If perjury took place, it would be nice to see perjury charges, which are very difficult to prove. But we just don't know about that. Many people writing to me and saying, David, do you know if the referrals will be made public or will it be behind the scenes? My understanding from looking at this article and others is that it will be a separate document that will contain the referrals, but it will be made public. That the evidence is public, the testimony has been public, and the referrals will also be made public. Now, I want this all to move quickly. We all do. It's been years with a lot of this stuff. At the same time, it makes sense that the January 6th committee has taken a measured approach. They've calculated it. They've done everything by the book. There was strategy, and it shows. And this really was carried out in a way that, despite and in the context of massive Republican obstruction, because remember, there was initially a deal to have significantly more Republican representation on this committee. And Republicans refused to participate because they wanted the committee to focus on different things. They had all sorts of rules that they wanted, which made no sense. So ultimately, the committee was assembled with a few Republicans, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. Is that all? Now I don't remember. But in any case, it was by their own doing that this was the format of the committee. Now we have a time limit. There's a new House led by Republicans, which will be sworn in within a few weeks. This is the end of the committee, but it may only be the beginning of the criminal part as far as the DOJ is concerned. Next step, let's see what the referrals show and then go from there. We will have all of today's stories and the clips and feedback and more on the Facebook page. Make sure you have liked The David Pakman Show on Facebook at facebook.com// is important, and that's a // not a // David Pakman Show. Quick break and be right back.